Hi everyone, today I'm back with a video about how to stop feeling overwhelmed. I have felt very overwhelmed recently. I've started my new job a few months ago, my son started a new school, we're all in a new routine, and that is really hard. My job has been really challenging at times, and I have honestly wondered how I was going to carry on. I have felt overwhelmed, and what I wanted to do is do a video with some tips about what I do to stop feeling overwhelmed, and I just want to throw it open to you as well, and just let me know what do you do, what steps do you take to also stop feeling overwhelmed. So I'm going to dive in with my first tip. Number one is that this is essential for me, is that I do a brain dump. So I will get normally 3 pieces of paper, and I will have one for work where I just write down all the tasks that I need to do. I'll have one for home, so everything that I need to do at home, and then I have one for personal. Now, generally what happens is that I get on with the work stuff. Obviously I've got deadlines to meet. I will do as many of the home ones that I can, but I generally, my personal ones don't really get much of a look in unless I've finished some of the other things, which is not right really in everything you read about self-care and looking after yourself. But the things that overwhelm me are the things like that I see around me. So when I know that I've got deadlines at work, or when I see things in my home that I think I really need to get that done, and for me that is what makes me feel better. So by getting it all out on paper, that is how that I start to work out, okay, what is it that I need to do? What is making me feel overwhelmed? My second tip is that I look through my lists and I decide what I can delegate, what I can just transfer to someone else altogether, or what I can get rid of. And there are some tasks that I think I can just get rid of that now. I can just park it. And sometimes you think, if someone wants something from you, for example, if you don't do it and take it off your list, if it's really important to that person, they will come back to you. Now, I find that hard to do, but I have done it a couple of times where I've said, do you know what, whatever's on that other person's agenda is not on mine right now. I've taken it off my list. So the other thing's obviously delegating. So I might have a task and I can think, right, who can I give that to in the family? And what we've done this weekend, which has been amazing, is that the weather's been quite nice. And I made a list of jobs that were all outside jobs that needed to be done. And when I wasn't working, it was fine. I could get on with that, but I don't have the time now. So it was things like mow the lawn, sweep the leaves, get the weeds off the driveway, clean the windows, put all the outside furniture away, clean it and put it all away. All jobs that I would have been spent all day doing if I'd been on my own, and actually we all did it together and we did it in a couple of hours, and that was brilliant. So what can you delegate? Then what can you just transfer altogether? So one thing I did last week, I was feeling overwhelmed in terms of I had no time. I did an online shop, and I haven't done that for a really long time, but I did an Ocado shop. So my friend sent me a voucher which was £20 off if you refer a friend, and I hadn't done a shop with them before, and so I had £20 off. I got lots of things that were in their deals, so they had buy one get one free and things like that, and bundles which were quite good, so you get pizza and wedges and garlic bread. And so I did lots of those things, and I spent about £70, which is not far off what I would normally spend at Aldi. And then you get free delivery for 12 months. I mean, I'm not going to do that regularly, but I have just done, I made a video actually, I haven't edited it yet. And so I'd cleaned out my pantry, or all of my baking cupboard. And what I want to do is restock it. And I thought I'm just going to do an online shop and have it delivered and just see if I can get a really cheap price on it. So yeah, so what can I transfer? What can I just give to somebody else and get it off my list? So the other thing that we've done is that our fences blew down in the storm. And my husband tried a couple of years ago. We put up a couple of new fence posts, and they just haven't worked. They just, for whatever reason. So I've just said, look, let's not try and do that ourselves again. Let's pay someone who's actually got the right tools to come in and just do it for us. And again, I've sort of just taken it off our list, say no, take that away from us. We've got enough to do. So it's things like that, and thinking, right, who can I transfer that to? It's even like it got too much and that the car was filthy, and of course I'm driving around and seeing learners, and I just thought, I put it through the car wash. And when do I ever do that? I always wash the cars, but I just thought, nope, I'm not doing it. I'm getting it off my list. And that really helped. That really helped last week. So the next thing that I do, which is really important to me, is that I tell people that I feel overwhelmed. So I will tell my husband, I will say, I am not having a good day or a good week. I need your help. I'm feeling like everything's too much. So I will tell people. I will even tell my kids, I say, look, I need your help today. I've got so much to do, and can you get on and do your packed lunches? Can you just get on and sort yourselves out for mummy, because I've got so much to do. And they're brilliant. But I do tell people at work as well, I can't be perfect. I don't know the answer all the time. And I can say, this isn't a good day for me. I feel like this is all too much, and I need you to just give me that little bit of space, and accept that that's how I'm feeling at the moment. And I find that people don't see that as a weakness, because you just say, look, I'm just not coping today. And that really, really helps me. My next tip is that I read self-help books. They might be, I've got my trusted book called Feeling Good, which I read all the time, which is amazing. I've just finished reading a book called Stress Control, and that's about, again, it's about doing things, in bite size and feeling like you're making progress, and it's not about perfection, it's not reaching perfection, it's just making some progress and feeling like you're getting there. So it's things like that, breaking things down rather than seeing things as a huge task. So self-help books are something that I do. I also read lots of positive quotes just to pull me up. So if I know I've got to go and do something that's stressful and I feel overwhelmed with the amount that I need to do, I will read these quotes that will just get in there and just make me feel like I can cope. So I was reading one the other day which was about that I am allowed to take things one step at a time. I am still new in my role, even though I'm training somebody else. I am a new person, I'm a trainee, and that I'm allowed to take the time to learn and train. I can't do things as quickly as somebody who's been there for a year or 2 years. I need time to learn, and I have to remind myself that actually I'm allowed that space to take things one step at a time. My next tip is that I like to plan ahead and prepare as much as I can to save time, so that when I know that I've got too much on, what I will do is I will have a really tight morning routine. I will lay out everything for breakfast I will pour the cereal and put a plate on top, so that all I've got to do is put milk in. So if I know I've got to get to an early meeting, if I know I've got too much on, everything is done to the letter. So the bags will be by the door fully packed, the uniforms will be laid out, the cereals laid out, everything, even my spoon in my cup ready to make my coffee, and my spoon in my travel mug for when I go to work. It's that planning of, okay, I've got this, and using that little bit of time when I might be flaked out, feeling overwhelmed in the evening. No, I am on it and I'm preparing for the next day. My next tip is that I have to accept that the way that I'm feeling is temporary, and that I like to plan for things to look forward to. So I'm not always going to feel overwhelmed. I might feel better tomorrow or next week, but also just in the future, knowing that actually there's more to life than everything at work, than things feeling too much. And I'm going to plan things to look forward to. So I've actually planned 2 things for the spring, which are or just after Christmas, when I do feel low. And I've got 2 really exciting things arranged for us as a family to look forward to. And that actually just makes me go, yeah, do you know what? I'm going to get past this. This is hard at the moment, but I'm going to feel better and look at these exciting things that we've got to look forward to. The next thing is kind of controversial, but take a day off. I had a day about 2 weeks ago where I was so anxious, I was so overwhelmed that I felt physically sick, and I felt queasy when I was at work, and I just went to my boss and I said, I'm sorry, I feel sick, I need to go home. And it was not a productive day for me. I went home and I rested, I read, I did some baking, and I just needed time for me. So I was recognizing that I feel overwhelmed, I feel anxious, it's making me feel physically ill, I need to stop today, and that is okay. So I could have gone to her and said, I need to take a day because my mental health is suffering. I could have, but I honestly think that I was starting to feel physically ill by how stressed I was. So it was important to me that I just took some time for me to reset, and that's hard to do, but I did it, and my goodness, did I feel better having that little bit of time to myself. Finally, what I will say to myself and to anyone who feels overwhelmed or anxious or stressed is be kind to yourself, because I am my worst critic. I will expect so much of myself. I'm expecting, it's at one stage, I'm trying and put out at least 1 video a week, for example, sometimes 2 a week, and I would feel like a failure if halfway through the week I hadn't made or prepared my video. But I have to be kind to myself. I am working so many hours, I'm doing extra hours because I feel like I can't keep on top of it. I am also doing a qualification at the same time, and so I'm studying and I'm keeping a home and I'm to and fro with the kids. I do all of that, and I'm doing the finances, and YouTube, everything. And I have to just be kind to myself and say, it's okay. You can feel like this. You can sit and have a coffee. You can go and get showered at 4 o'clock and put your pajamas on, which is what I might do in a minute. I need to be kind to myself and make that negative critical voice shut up and just get back to reality of actually what is important. So that is my message to you today, is be kind to yourself. We speak to ourselves in such a horrible negative way, and let's just stop doing that. So if you have got any tips for me about how you cope with being overwhelmed, then I'd really love to hear about them. So if you could leave me a comment, that would be really, really amazing. Or if you read somebody else's, please just comment on theirs. If it's helped you, then I'd really like to know. And if you are not a subscriber, then I would love to have you as one of my subscribers, because I've got absolutely amazing, amazing subscribers who I count as my friends. So come and be my friend. So with all that said, I will see you in the next video. Bye.